Good morning, everyone. Hope you are all doing well. Let me start by introducing myself. I am Rajesh D. Sangvi. By profession, I am a businessman and I am also a human welfare worker for Isha Foundation of Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev Ji. Today, I am going to touch on a very vital subject concerning our nation, and you guessed it right. It is unemployment. Well, unemployment is a large-scale phenomenon in our country, and this is a cause of great concern to our nation, and also a reason for a lot of suffering and pain among families and among individuals in India. So you would not be surprised to know that among the populations in the world, India is the country with the highest proportion of young population. Let me start with some key stats about unemployment figures. The 4.1% of the population is supposed to be unemployed as per official figures. But this is a rather misleading figure because I'm going to the real unemployment happens in a different fashion. And let me introduce you to the concept of underemployment. You may not have heard about what is underemployment. Underemployment is such that when people who are skilled or qualified don't get jobs and they do some menial work to sustain themselves, and they don't have jobs on offer in the market, so this is the way they are living. So this is called underemployment. So in our country, the underemployment rate is 35% of the population. Nearly 11 crore people are underemployed in the urban and suburban areas, and nearly 38 crores of people in the rural areas are underemployed. They don't have much education also, nor do they have any means of sustenance. They are just doing menial work to survive. So the situation in the rural areas is even worse than the one in the urban areas. So next I would like to tell you, you'd be surprised to know that there are 8 lakh highly qualified engineers in our country who are underemployed, who are doing a menial job, and according to their qualification they should have got a far better job, a very good job in fact, and this is a enormous waste of human capital. All these figures of underemployed people are actually a wastage of human capital where they should have got a good employment opportunity in our country. So what is the solution to this unemployment situation? Well, let me introduce to you some my suggestions to the government of India on how we can tackle the situation of unemployment and underemployment. First of all, we need to change the way we track employment and we tackle employment as a phenomenon in our unemployment as a phenomenon in our country. We need to create a registrar of unemployment by the government of India, and we need to allow all the citizens who are unemployed to register themselves in the registrar of unemployment. And after that, while doing that, they need to give the details of their skills as well as their qualifications, so that the time is not wasted in finding employment for them. So then what do we do after doing this registrar? We'll come to know the exact unemployment that is going on in the country. We'll have some good figures, the correct figures of unemployment, and once you do that, then it is up to us on how to tackle this unemployed people. The first thing to do that I suggest for these registered unemployed people is to give them a guarantee of employment by the government of India, and also a minimum income of 5,476 as stipulated as a minimum wage should be paid to these unemployed registered people in our country, so that they are able to at least live a dignified life. And the government has to promise that they are responsible for providing employment for them. They are guaranteeing the employment for them, and then they work towards that and create the employment opportunities in the country. So this employment figures can be tracked, by month, how many people are getting employed. That is a way of being accountable to the citizens of India. And the government needs to make effort towards creating employment opportunities for the country. So every month, what are the unemployment claims we need to track, because that is when you pay this money to the unemployed, automatically you come to know how many less people you paid or how many more you paid. If more people have been paid unemployment figures, that means more people have added themselves into the unemployment uh, phenomenon in India. And if less people are claiming this unemployment claims, that means government has made progress and provided employment for them. They have created the situation where employment has happened. This system of monitoring monthly what is the employment situation in the country is a way for the government to be accountable for providing employment to the nation, to the citizens of India. And this is not a new concept. Actually, this is already being practiced in advanced countries, in developed countries like USA, UK, Australia, Canada, Japan, the entire Europe, all over the world. In the developed countries, this mechanism of monitoring the the unemployment rate in the country month over month is a very common phenomenon, and we need to introduce that in India so that the government is held responsible and everybody knows what is the truth about the economy. So that is one thing. Then we think about one thing we think about how do we provide for the minimum income. Well, minimum income is an additional expenditure to the government, which is of a very large size. So we need to see that the government takes measures to collect additional revenue from the citizens of India. Let me tell you that another statistic, which is a very glaring statistic for our country. 1% of the population has 73% of the wealth of the nation, and this is a huge anomaly of wealth distribution in our nation. So how do we tackle this? Well, the income tax is not the way, because we cannot tax 1% of India and recover all this amount of money for the unemployed. How to pay the minimum income? The best way to do that is to do additional taxation on all items of luxurious or superfluous consumption, and recover this revenue from the indirect taxes, that is through the GST. And another way would be to also tax hazardous products like liquor and tobacco products very heavily, so that their consumption also reduces, and on the other hand the nation becomes healthier. This would be a better way to meet the expenses of giving the minimum income to the those people who are unemployed in our country. So one more thing I would like to tell you, how do we create employment then? How does the government go about creating employment? We have noticed that two sectors in our nation, that is educational sector and the medical and hospitals in our country, are highly inadequate. I would suggest to the government of India, they make a massive investment in the hospitals, the medical facilities, and the schools and colleges in India, so that on the one hand, the schools and colleges will educate the people who are in the country, and good quality education is given to them, and the proper care is taken through the adequate amount of hospitals and medical facilities in our country, which is highly inadequate, whether it is the rural areas or in the urban areas. So one more thing is, how do we cater to the underemployed in the rural areas? Well, there you need to create lot of infrastructure projects and lot of schools and colleges, and there are many ways in which you can support the rural sector with where there are underemployed or almost unemployed people living there. The same way, in the urban areas, you need to provide the right type of not only urban as well as rural. You need to provide the right type of business atmosphere. You need to create avenues for foreign direct investment. You need to create avenues for people who are well qualified to be screened and offered loans, so that they can be opening a business. One man opens a business means that at least 5 people more get employed. So that's a good method of creating employment opportunities. Well, whatever the fiscal measure, there are monetary measures, and there are a lot of tools through which this is a big subject, and how to create employment in the country. And the main thing that will make the government accountable is the employment figures, the unemployment benefits which the people are availing. The more and more the unemployment benefits are dropping, those people who are claiming, that means the economy is really getting better and better. So that way government has to open up in the best manner possible to create employment opportunities. Creating employment opportunities is a big subject, and government needs to try every which way possible to create employment in the country. So this is the way where the country gets into the mode of high development agenda, where the truth about employment is very, very clear, and it is noticed by the entire country. And on the other hand, India moves towards better employment figures and more development in the nation. So then the business growth has to be very high. So large scale spending on infrastructure and the services sector also is required, to create employment opportunities. This is a way of creating the employment opportunities. Another way to measure the key statistics of development in India is on the per capita income of the country. So how much more are people earning? Okay, unemployment is one thing, but among those who are employed or getting employed, what is the per capita income, the amount of compensation which is paid to the citizens of India by the people who are giving them employment, or those people who are getting into business and earning money. So per capita income means the amount of earning per person. So that is another yardstick through which you can measure the development in the country. And also it is also a key statistic of real employment, and key statistics of underemployment also. So if the underemployed people are actually getting good jobs and equivalent to their qualification and their skills, then automatically the income has to grow, because they are already doing some type of work, some menial work for sustaining themselves. Then one more concept I would like to introduce to you is labor participation rate. So we need to track the labor participation rate in the country. We have seen through the statistics which is available within Niti Aayog that only 50% of India actually is engaged in productive labor, whereas in other developed countries 70% to 90% of the people are productive. They are participants in the labor workforce. So then if there's so much disparity in the the labor participation rate in India in comparison to developed countries, it is obvious that that the burden becomes very high on the employed people to sustain the living of the unemployed. The concept over there is to that the employed people take the burden of the of sustaining the unemployed people. So that is also a new concept which I am introducing to the government of India. That is the way of how these advanced countries have become so rich. They monitor the employment rate, the per capita income rate very, very closely, and also the amount of business growth that has taken place. In this way, the government is very accountable. It is transparent to the citizens of India, and actual growth takes place, and it gets monitored month over month. So thank you so much about listening in to me, and I hope the government of India takes these steps to tackle the situation of unemployment in India. It is also a reason for India is also among the second highest, also having the second highest crime rate in the world. And it is not a surprise, because if such a large scale unemployment has happened in the country and that is the way we are living, then automatically the antisocial elements will pick up a large part of the electorate and make them do antisocial activity. And there will be social disturbance in the country, and unnecessary, there is a chaos created in the country and a havoc created in the country over small issues. So when the people are engaged in gainful labor, nobody has the time to do nonsense. So that is the important part of unemployment, a very aspect of unemployment, that the citizens of India are also very happy and leading a having a gainful employment and leading a good life. So that's about it, and I want to thank you all for listening in to me, and may wish you all the best, and God bless you. Thank you. Namaste.